Your seats, they have Bibles in your seats, they have Bibles here. Luke chapter 12, verse 15. That's where we're going to start off at, and we're going to go all the way to 21. Luke chapter 12, verse 15 through 21. Luke chapter 12, verse 15 through 21. And it reads, it said, then he, we're talking about Jesus, he said, beware, guard against every kind of greed. Guard against every kind of greed. Life is not measured by how much you own. Then he told them a story. He said, a rich man had a fertile farm that produced fine crops. He said to himself, what should I do? I don't have room for all of my crops. Then he said, I know. I'll tear down my barn and build a bigger one. Then I'll have room enough to store all my wheat and other goods. And I'll sit back and say to myself, my friend, you have enough stored for years to come. Now take it easy, eat, drink, and be merry. But God said to him, you fool, you will die this very night. Then who will get everything you worked for? Yes, a person is a fool to store up earthly wealth, but not have a rich relationship with God. This is the word of God.
Thank you, God.
You can be seated. Guys, today, when I'm talking to you today, we're going to talk about chasing. Chasing for a whole month. Talking about chasing. All the things that we chase behind. I know y'all done heard me up here Sunday after Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever, talking about chasing. The things that we chase behind. I love talking to my boys when we start talking about chasing, because one of the biggest things that my boys chase behind at a certain age is females. And then I think about my girls, the things that they chase behind when they're at a certain age is boys. But today, this is for both of you, for each boys and girls. A lot of us are chasing behind money. And when we start talking about chasing behind money, I have to admit, Brother D, I have had times in my life when I chased behind money. There was times in my life where I would wake up in the morning, first thing that I would look at was my bank account, trying to see how much is in there, what can I do to get more and more and more, but didn't realize there was somebody that I was leaving out. I'm going to talk about that person who I was leaving out in a few minutes. But I'm going to go further about this chasing this money. It seemed like the more I chased money, there was more things that was starting to happen in my life that wasn't pleasing to our Almighty. I noticed when I was chasing money that no matter how I reached out for money, it always seemed like it was something that I had to do wrong when I was trying to get this money back in the time period I'm talking about. 16 years old, fresh and still in high school, I decided, you know what? The money that I have, I'm going to start selling drugs. 16 years old, Brother D, a guy that's standing up here right now today. I'm just being real with you. I wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to be a drug dealer. I wanted to be like all the boys that I saw in my neighborhood. All the older guys in my neighborhood riding around big cars, big rims. I had made up my mind, this is what I'm going to do. I remember my dad used to tell me every week, he said, you know what? The road that you're going down is going to be a road to destruction. I didn't want to listen to him. One day, my dad and I were riding down from New Orleans, Louisiana, to a town called Hattiesburg, Mississippi, to a college called USM in Hattiesburg. I had put a sock full of something in my daddy's ride. A sock or something in my daddy's ride. Going down the highway, Lights go off on the police car in my daddy's ride. My daddy's driving. Police pulled us over. What's going on? You have a problem with your tail light, yada, yada. But the whole time that I'm sitting there, I'm like, you know what? They want me. The police about to get me. I'm nervous. I'm scared. I'm sweating. I'm going crazy. I knew that I was doing something wrong, so I knew something wrong. I was thinking that something wrong was about to happen. But, y'all help me out, say but. But God. God, at that point in my life, he said, you know what? I know that you see these things happening in your neighborhood. I know you see Kendall and Holly and Big Kev and Big Poochie. I know you see all these guys rolling around like this. Y'all can laugh. It's fine. Because I thought his name was funny too. Not only Big Poochie, but this guy named Moonbeam. Moonbeam. I remember Moonbeam. So, but thinking about these guys riding down the street, they pass by your house, music real loud. Next thing you know, your glass is shaking on your house, your walls shaking. I'm like, I want that to be me. That's what I wanted at that particular time in my life. But God, when God came into my life, when he protected me from all of those situations of wanting to be a drug dealer, wanting to be a rapper, wanting to be a hustler, wanting to be a ladies' man, wanting to be all of these things, God kept protecting me over and over and over. He said, you know what? That's not the life I have for you. I don't want you to be a drug dealer. I don't want you to be a rapper. I don't want you to be a hustler. I don't want you chasing females. I don't want you doing those things. But guess what? I'm going to admit to you right now today, even though that God said he didn't want me to do those things, I still kept trying to do it. Many years went by in my life. Many years. Trying to run away from God. Trying to chase other things. Many years. I accepted Christ in my life, and I remember the day when I accepted Christ in my life. It was like somebody tapped me on my shoulder and somebody was like leading me up to the front of the church. Wasn't nobody behind me. It was God. But I'm going to tell you, even when I made that decision in